Hello and welcome to this new section on embedding AI in performance management in this course, AI for Data-Driven Management Excellence, and the first lecture of this section. So in this particular section, we will take you through how can you use AI to embed AI in performance management itself. So how to use AI to embed AI. And there we will start talking about how can you use personalized KPIs and dashboards with the AI to tailor insights for each role manager using behavior and the context. So that's what we will do in this lecture. So what do you think? How could you tailor, how could you have AI tailor insights for each role and manager using behavior and context, using the personalized KPIs and dashboards? Any thoughts? Using AI to tailor insights for each role and manager using, behavior and context creates, hyper personalized, actionable intelligence, and that improves decision making, boosts engagement, and reduces information overload. Now, what are the various steps that you need to take? Let's take a look at that first. Let's first look at what is the objective of doing this whole activity. So the whole purpose is to deliver the right insight to the right person at the right time, and that based on their roles, like CFO versus the sales manager, their past behaviors on clicks, report views, and discussions, and their current context, location, time, priority, KPI focus. So that's what we want to achieve with this whole lecture's content, right? So you need to begin by defining the personas and the insights needed. Now, what are they? Some of them. For a CFO role, a typical insight required would be cost trends, cash flow risks, budget variances. For a sales manager, it could be pipeline health, customer pipeline health, lead scoring, representative performance. Then for operational head, it could be, inventory issues, downtime alerts, throughput KPIs, etc. And for HR manager, it could be attrition risk, engagement scores, and delivery diversity matrices. Now, those are the examples of the typical insights that could be required for each of these diverse roles. Now, what you do is you start by mapping the, persona mapping. Start with persona mapping metrics that links a few things like KPIs, preferred channels of these people, and the decision frequency. So you figure out what kind of insights are required, on what channel would they like to receive it, and how frequently. And those are linked to the KPIs that they are responsible for in the organization. Then you capture context and behavior signals, right? Now, what are the signals to collect? You could collect behavioral signals, and a few examples of that is report open frequency, filter preferences, click stream. You could look at the operational context type of signals in which you know time of the delays, device, meeting schedule. Then you could look at the organizational context type of signals. And examples of those signals could be the team, location, seniority, current goals, and the feedback loops. Thumbs up or thumbs down on insights, ignored alerts, etc., etc. Now, what are the tools that you can use for this purpose? You can use Power BI and Microsoft Graph for Teams and Outlook signals. You could use Mixpanel or Amplitude for user telemetry. And you could use Snowflake and Segment for unified customer or employee profiles. So those are the tools and those are the signals with examples to capture for this purpose. Then you use AI to personalize the insight delivery, right? And there are four methods that we will talk about. You can look at, clustering model through the unsupervised machine learning, where you group users with similar behaviors or priorities. For example, sales managers who often filter by deal size plus geography. This could be one cluster that you will look at. The second method is ranking algorithms, where you can prioritize what insights are most valuable to the user. And an example of that will be using a learning to rank LTR model trained on in terms of clicks, time spent, conversions triggered by an insight. Or you could use generative AI summarization model, where you can summarize insights tailored to the user's language preferences, tone, and focus area. Say, for example, for HR manager, attrition has increased by 11% among female engineers in APAC last quarter, 5% above average. So those could be the kind of summarized insight AI, generative AI summarization could deliver. Then you have next best insight engines, NBI engines, where you can get, where you can recommend what the user should look at next in terms of the decision making, and it could be based on role, recency, and historical decision support. So that's how you can use AI to personalize the insight delivery. What are the tools you can use for this delivery of insights? For role-based dashboards, you could use Power BI plus Copilot or Tableau plus Pulse. For insight delivery, you could use Microsoft Team Bots, Slack GPT, Email Digest. For AI modeling, you could use Azure ML, Google Vertex AI, Data Robot. For summaries from large language models, you could use, OpenAI GPT-4, Cloud, and Amazon Bedrock. And for behavior tracking, you could use Segment, Snowplow, or Mixpanel. So these are the various tools you can use to deliver the insights. Now, let's take a look at an example of the workflow to tailor insights for each manager and role based using behavior and context. So the use case here is of a tailored insight for a regional sales manager, and their AI track filters using frequently south lead value greater than $10,000 plus, and it opens report on Mondays at 9 a.m. The co-pilot recommends on a particular day your top five leads this week worth over 10,000 K sorted to close probability. They do as often as that required. And the GPT generates a summary saying that you are trending 8% below quota in Q3, mostly due to delayed deals in Chennai. And then you have Power Automate that pushes the digest to teams every Monday at 8:30 a.m. So that's how the AI tailors insights and delivers to each manager and role using the behavior and the context. The fifth thing would be to create feedback loops to learn and adapt. Now, what are the mechanisms and what can you do with that? You can use ratings on Insight, user ratings on Insight. And the purpose will be to train the personalization model. Uh, you could use clicks and dismissals to improve the ranking. You can use explain why buttons, to improve trust and transparency. And you could have weekly performance comparisons to show AI impact. Say, for example, you save 3 hours a week via Auto Insights. So that's how you can create feedback loops for AI for it to learn and adapt. Let's take a look at, you need to be mindful of the data governance and policy while delivering the insights. There you should do role-based access control, only, surface the permitted data. Whatever is permitted should only go to the users and managers and role-based people. And pseudonymize, user behavior data if needed, and allow opt-outs for personalization. So these are few things to be kept in mind for data governance and privacy while delivering these insights. Take a look at the prompt examples for generative AI. For personalized summary, you could give a prompt like generate a three-line update on weekly attrition for a senior HR manager who prefers concise, metric-driven updates. And that could be one way. Second could be a context-aware recommendation insight, prompt for that. What insight should I show a regional sales head? Logging in from mobile on a Friday, usually viewing East Zone performance. So that's a context-aware recommendation that you ask the generative AI to produce. Then you could, let's take a look at example of a next best action. And your prompt could be, what is the next insight to recommend to a CFO who just reviewed quarter three revenue but skipped the cost variance chart? So these are some examples of the prompts. So let us summarize how to use AI to tailor insights for each role and manager using behavior and the context. So, you need to, there are various components and the techniques and tools. So you need to use role clustering by using K-means, PCA, using tools like Python and Azure. Then you need to rank insights for such each role, where you can use techniques like learning to rank, gradient boosting, using tools like Light GPM and XGBoost. Then you need to have summarization of the report using LLMs like GPT and Cloud, and then you could use OpenAI API and Copilot. Once you have the insights summarized, then you need to deliver them. And the technique AI technique is the triggers and personalization using Power Automate, Teams, GPT bots, and then there's a feedback learning to continuously improve using clickstream and feedback loops using tools like Segment and Mixpanel. So that's how you can use AI to tailor insights for various roles and managers using behavior and the context. So what do we do next now? So in the next one, we will look at second part of embedding AI in performance management, and there we'll talk about how can you use AI to recommend goals based on trends, company priorities, and historical data. So thank you so much for watching this first lecture on embedding AI in performance management. I hope you're continuing to learn new things, continuing to enjoy, and I do look forward to see you again in the next lecture. Please feel free to message me if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer your questions, and do download the PDF file to take a look at anything that you need.